Welcome everyone to another episode of LANCESCURV. Starting early today. It's been a lot that I've observed in recent times, if I can say it that way. Let me get right into the point. I'm very disappointed in what many think are our culture, which it's not. It's engineered for our destruction. And I really mean that. I just don't understand why many people here who are obviously intelligent just can't see how far we've gone as a people. I'm not an old guy who is reminiscent about the old days. I'm not an old guy who is basically thinking back and saying, well, my time was better. I don't do that because everybody has their time. If you look at sports, the sports heroes and figures of yesteryear will always have a place in our hearts, and they'll always be the best. Today, whoever are the top individuals in sports or even in entertainment will hold a special place in the hearts of those in the future. I always refer to boxing. I love boxing. You have the old guys from way back in the day, right? And I remember the barbershop, getting my hair cut, trimmed. And there were some older guys in there. Now, this is like the late 60s. I can remember 68, 69. My father was there with me. That's a man thing. It's a male, a bonding type of atmosphere, or at least it used to be. I don't know what it is now. But I remember there was a guy, he had to be about 80 years old. Now, if this was 69, 70, whatever, then he had to be born around a certain time. And so he had to remember Jack Johnson, heavyweight champ at the turn of the century, or a couple of years after that, because Tommy Burns had it, I think it was 1907, 1908, when Jack Johnson won the championship. So if that gentleman was 15 years old, there was no pay-per-view. There was nothing like that. But if they had any kind of way with the newspaper or any kind of radio, then that was the hero of the day. You can't tell that man that Jack Johnson wasn't the best heavyweight ever, because there's an emotional attachment. You know, it represents your era. Coming up, we had Joe Louis. Joe Louis in wartime and being kind of patriotic. You know, he was one of those kind of Negroes that didn't want to make waves. From that time on, from those who remember, and I remember those gentlemen in the barbershop who weren't super old, but they were old to me. And they were saying the same thing. Jack Johnson couldn't hold Joe Louis's jockstrap. Joe Louis was the man. So now you have the younger guys who are experiencing in the present time Muhammad Ali. And they say, man, as big as Ali was and the way he could move and the way he could balance himself, there's no way that Joe Louis with his slow foot dragging self, as small as he was, heavyweights weren't that big back then. 200 pounds, 190, 185. You rarely saw someone 220 pounds back in the day, because, you know, with the advances of nutrition and training techniques and understanding the body, as the generations go on, we get bigger and bigger and bigger, but it didn't replace style. So now fast forward to the present day. We think about Mike Tyson, 5'10", 220 pounds, more or less, speed, killer instinct, murderous and entertaining. Killer instinct. So there are many who swear that Muhammad Ali could not deal with a Mike Tyson. Joe Louis couldn't deal with a Muhammad Ali. Jack Johnson couldn't deal with a Joe Louis. Somewhere Jack Dempsey's in there, but he never gets brought up in the conversation. So why am I talking about boxing when I have a show titled Are Relationships Worth It Anymore? I just want to welcome on in Sister Gifty. You're here. Melisha and Peaceful Pulley. We have about 18 people in the chat, not in the chat, but watching. And this is got to be kind of early for everybody because I'm 5 hours ahead of everybody, and this started at noon for me. So 7 on the East Coast, all the way down to maybe 4 in the morning on the West. Y'all are troopers. There's one person I'm going to say, what are you doing up right now? Jack Griffin in the house. Give Jack Griffin some love. We go back to the 70s, face to face, growing up. He's a man I highly respect. And it's always a pleasure to see him. Always. Jack Griffin in the house. Yes. But I was having my moments. I'm always having my moments deep in thought. And again, I made that analogy in comparison to say, today is a different time. And I just don't understand it. And I do feel it's compromised. Again, I'm not the old geezer who's mad at the fact that all this stuff going on and it wasn't like this in the day. Trust me, the craziness and the freakishness was going on just as much. I happen to have an idea about that stuff. But this is not about that. The dynamics of relationships are so shallow right now. It's so transactional. I was listening to a song as I prepared for this particular show, and I do have it up here somewhere where those who want to purchase a shirt or a mug or a glass or a beach blanket, just go to the description area below, and I made this for that. Don't have to. Maybe you don't like it. Maybe there's something else you like, but I'll be putting these up. Maybe not with every show, but I'd like to. I want to slow it down a bit. Instead of doing 5 shows a day, I want to do one good one with supplementary stuff on social media. And I'm still going to always come back with a second or third sometimes, but I want to have it like that. So just check out the prices. Just check out, I just do this together, getting kind of good at it. But the bottom line is, like I said, today, it's just not what it was yesterday. And I'm talking about wholesomeness. This is for everyone, but I do focus on the Black family, the Black community. But there's certain universal truths that fit everyone. And why I say that is because I stand in that perspective, because that's what I am. And I want to clean house first. And if you can get something out of this, fine. I'm not against anybody. But since, for the most part, there are many of us doing good, but there's a whole lot of us on the bottom rung. Black relationships. Are relationships worth it anymore? We're going to shoot from the hip. Nothing written down. All in my head. I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see with the emotion removed from the dealings between the men and the women and the men. It's cold. I know there have been a lot of people who were raised up in families that were extremely dysfunctional, and that set the tone for how many people see relationships. I know there's a lot of abuse, of course, dysfunction, trauma, and it causes people these days more so to see it as something that's not good. There are many people out here who don't want to get in relationships because they feel that it's something detrimental to their lives. But our very lives are built on relationships. You were a baby one time, could not take care of yourself. But a wonderful relationship between yourself and your mother, and mind you, I'm not trying to throw off on anybody. Everybody did not have that. And for those who did not have that, my heart goes out to you, okay? But somebody took care of you. Whether they did a really great job, or maybe in hindsight, you say, well, you know what? My life at that point sucked. All I'm saying is that you're here. And when you were defenseless and couldn't wipe your backside, couldn't feed yourself, couldn't even walk, somebody had to carry you. And then you learn from that. You learn to relate. But these days, many people, and again, I'm not throwing off on the younger folks because if you're alive right now, this thing affects you. And I find it to be in the world a really, really cold place. And I don't like it. People don't care for each other anymore. People don't develop long-term relationships anymore. Let's get to the women. And I want to say a disclaimer. I'm going to say it one time, maybe two. I am not throwing off on Black women in general. No, I'm not. But there are too many Black women who think this way. And I will explain what I mean. And it's ripping apart the fabric of our community. Now, the men, they play a role in this. I'm not going to say they're innocent. It's both sides. So I'm going to cover both sides, but I'm going to focus on, since I'm a man, I'm going to focus on women first. Because we know men and the things that they do. But in talking to different brothers who are of age to still seek out a woman because they want a relationship and they want to build, I just want to say, there are a lot of good men out there. There are a lot of good men out there who want to build, who want to be part of something bigger, to build a family. I'm not blaming the women, but lots of times, a lot of these women in this modern day, it's transactional. How much money do you make? How much can you pay me? What can you do for me? What am I getting out of this? Again, this is not all women. I'm going in with surgical precision on this topic. Okay? Surgical precision, y'all. I'm not throwing off on anybody. I would never do that. So you have men who are out here who want to date a woman. And that's all. He's not looking for sex. So some of you women are going to argue with me and say they all are. A lot of them are not going to refuse it. But we as human beings, we want companionship. We want to be around the female energy. It's a beautiful thing. Now, the illustration of the woman in front, and maybe I should have put a man and a woman, and maybe I'm wrong for putting money next to the woman to insinuate that she's a gold digger. But it's those types that I want to focus on when I speak about women. Those types of women. Again, I don't mean all Black women. There's going to be somebody who comes up in the comment section after this goes up as a video, and they're going to say, oh, you're all Black. So you're not even listening. You're hearing, but you're not listening. When you go to the doctor for open heart surgery, you don't have the foot doctor come in and fumble the operation. You go in with surgical precision with the proper specialist for that designated area. Understand that. So this is what we're doing now. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to delete you. No, maybe I'll ridicule you with 2 paragraphs on how you didn't pay attention in school. Depends on what mood I'm in. But it hurts me because I try to imagine myself, of course I'm off the market, but I try to imagine myself in this present day as a younger man, and I find it disgusting because I hear the complaints. There are many people who talk to me privately and give me their raw opinion. I'll not say who they are. It wouldn't matter to you anyway because you probably don't know who they are. They may not even be in the chat room when you see their name. And many here who in the chat room don't even use their real names. But across the board, over the years, over the decades, as I moved away from that era in my life, and I look back and I say to myself, could I survive in this particular dating market, relationship seeking, looking to build, looking to find a good woman? Do I have to qualify? Do I have to check off the boxes? Do I have to make at least $100,000 a year, which for many, that's not enough. Of course, it's in a woman's nature to be secured. Yes, She's not going to want to tap a guy who's homeless. I'm not knocking the homeless brothers. Some of them were doing good and something happened and they fell. Any one of us can fall. One of them homeless brothers could rise up, come to his senses, and become something successful on a materialistic level. This world is not easy, y'all. We have spiritual issues. We have emotional issues. We have mental issues. A lot of us have drug issues. And all of these things are entangled up in a very unique way. So if you have a person who has a mental issue, it might be 10% of the problem. But their issue may be 50% spiritual, 20% emotional, right? And 30% whatever else. The next person may have all of these things in different proportions. So one application of therapy is not a one-size-fits-all thing. Then you have how worn down we are in life. Some of us are just done. Some of us are in our 60s and full of enthusiasm. Some of us are in our 20s and we're just worn down. A lot of the brothers out here are hurting. Yes, I know a lot of the sisters are hurting too. I'm talking about the brothers right now as it deals with some of the women who are wayward and transactional. I have to speak up for that. Just the same way I speak up for the sisters on shows that focus on them. And I will speak on them before this is over. A lot of brothers, they don't understand. They want and see a beautiful woman, whether the beauty is outward or inward or a combination of both. We all have our different tastes. And they want to reach out. And they talk to these women. And the women these types come back so harsh. I have to say it. Since moving out here to West Africa in Ghana, I didn't see as much as I see now. But this thing called social media, and I will say especially Instagram, is something that has messed up the minds of many of our sisters, especially in the younger generations. This thing called OnlyFans has messed up the minds of a lot of our women. Yes, they are making lots and lots of money. Some are not making big money. It's not guaranteed. But they seem to want to go that way to get the bag. And some of our brothers are so starved on a companionship level. They just want to be around you. They want to get to know you, but you've become a product now. Honestly, because a lot of the sisters out here have come to the conclusion, they say, men, that's all they want is sex. I've been burned. I believed in love at one time. I was in a relationship or two and found out that this guy was cheating on me and it hurt me so bad. I found out that this guy, this one buddy he always hung around, I caught them in bed together. So I'm done. Maybe one day I'll meet my Prince Charming, but until then, you need to pay me because I don't need the aggravation. It's bad enough to be in a relationship and you're working and you're struggling and you think you're building with your partner and you find out that they're not true. Double lives, hidden agendas, secret motivations, clout chasers. Who's real? So a lot of these sisters say, you know what? Pay me. No matter what, I'll choose if I want to open up emotionally. But right now, I don't care to do that. Pay me. Now, they may want to just show themselves on OnlyFans. They may want to be outright prostitutes, but they'll say they're in business. I know one young lady personally. She says, I do personal consultations. Oh, boy, what a consultation that is. And she gets paid legally because she framed her business that way. See? So I understand it, sisters who may think this way. But how can you come back from that way of thinking? When you've been in this thing so long and you've been wired to see that men are just opportunities to get money. You see? And for those who may not go that way, I'm not saying everyone does, and this is not about all black women. This is just those who think that way. a lot of them will say, I want a man to pay the bills. They may be struggling. Maybe they make a certain amount of money, but they have responsibilities and they feel they're struggling. Maybe they are. So, of course, you're not going to want to have anybody who adds a burden to you. But what if he makes the same money you do and he can't pay all your bills? See, some of these women will say, I need somebody who makes over six figures. But now in America, I have to tell you, six figures is I'm just saying this. I don't know if I can equate it properly. I didn't do any calculations. I'm just going to say 6 figures is the new $40,000. I'm not going to say 30. I'm not going to say 50. 6 figures, $100,000 in America is the new $40,000. That's a tight title. I should have saved that and not said that, but I might do a show like that, strictly on the finances. Because the American dollar has shrunken. I always say it. My buddy who used to ride with me, white man named Steve. He was a statistician for some corporate company where they were doing a lot of dirt. And he was pointing it out, and he had the whistle blow under an investigation, and they blackballed him because he had to tell the truth. So he couldn't get any work. He was living in a homeless shelter. This America and the system that we're in is a very, very, very vicious thing. And this is a white man. So you know with us, we're going to get the full axe. This man was living in a homeless shelter, worked in Walmart. His treat for himself every week or every other week was to go to a nice restaurant where they sold, where they had steaks and everything, and he would get a nice hotel room and live comfortably for that night before he went back to the homeless shelter. So he wasn't bitter. This man was well-traveled, had luxury car. I mean, this guy was getting maybe like $250,000 back in the 80s. A little less than that back in the 70s. He worked for several big companies. He showed me pictures of himself. I'm like, man, now he's on the bus waiting for you to drop him off at the homeless shelter. So he had a lot of knowledge. We would speak on different topics. I don't care where the information is coming from. If the information is beneficial to us as a people, I'll speak to anybody and everybody. And I will be bringing people on this show that could bring us information. We don't need to be sitting up all the time. Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Beyonce. They're all compromised. We should know that by now. We need to work on ourselves. We need to work on our lives where we are and where we are relating to each other and how we relate to each other. It's going to be a sorry state of affairs soon with all of the things that are planned in this world. I want to speak about something in another show, maybe later on today, about a couple of things that I've put together in my mind that fit like pieces of what's going to happen late 2024, maybe 2025. It makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to say another 911 is going to happen that way. It's going to happen in a very unique way. We're going to be caught off guard big time. I have nothing else to do but sit here and look off over the mountains and think about stuff. That's all I do. Think. It's very quiet here. Downloads happen for me easier. But back on the topic. Like I said, $100,000 is a new $40,000. So we may have some sisters who are doing very well. And they say they need a man who makes more money than them. So if they're making $100,000 and they want to deal with a brother, I'm not saying we can't earn, and we do earn, but we're working in someone else's system. And when we try to work along in the system, there's so many obstacles that we have to overcome. And there's always those who do right. See, you can work a job that doesn't make that much money, but if you have someone with you and you both earn and you both sacrifice together and you both build later on down the line, there'll be women who are close to your wife or your mate, whatever kind of relationship you have. Hopefully you're married. Oh man, where did you find him? Wow, he's successful. But she helped to build him and he helped to build her. You both build together. The problem that I find with a lot of these women who will be considered gold diggers, but they act mild, they act charming, they act nice, but they know exactly what they want to get out of you. Is that they don't want to build. They want a man who is already there, already making 200,000, $250,000, 150,000, 150,000 at least. So that by the time they take out taxes and you pay for your expenses and different things, you have $100,000. But $100,000 is the new 40. Now, my friend who is a statistician, again, I'm running a story. This was back in 2016. 2016, 7 years ago. And the dollar was on a steep decline from then. Hasn't gone better. Now China, Russia, India, and different countries don't want to mess with the petrodollar. They can't call it that anymore. So it's without being propped up, the wind blows too hard. What does it fall on? It's just paper. But he said the 2016 dollar was only 13 cents of the 1973 dollar. 13 cents. So imagine you have $10 and you go into the store to spend of what you would spend in 1973, and they say, no, this is no good. This is only $1.30. Imagine that. Well, that's what's happening. That's why we have to work more to get less. Yes, there is money out there, but it's collapsing fast. I wonder what it is now. Is it 9 cents of the 1973 dollar? Even if it went up a couple cents, nonetheless, it's way down low. How are we going to build families? How are we going to have a life together if we're not looking to build with each other? And many of these sisters will go on OnlyFans, but they may prostitute a little bit, whatever, and different forms of prostitution, not on the street corner. Because Instagram and OnlyFans is the new whole stroll. HOE. I'm not calling my sisters that. That's the profession that some sisters do. So if you doing that, then you fit that description. If I'm in a firehouse and I'm up sleeping in the bunk and the alarm rings off and I have to go to a fire, well, what am I? A chef? I'm a fireman. Well, if you're selling your body for money, I don't care what you call it, that's what it is. And men don't want to marry that. But they're sex starved. And we know there are many men who are only out for one thing. Those sisters, I agree with you on that. But there are some who are so starved of affection, so starved to be next to a woman, so starved to inhale the hair. Hopefully it's real. And just feel your warmth. Kiss you on the side of your lips and it's moistened with your saliva and the electricity goes through. Nobody's around to cup that beautiful derriere and hold you close. Oh, that's such a wonderful feeling. A woman. These ain't down low brothers. We're not saying they're not after one thing, but there's some who are not wired that way. But they'll pay you for your time just to experience your femininity. But they don't want to pay because they want the real thing. Yes, I'll say the majority of men ain't going to refuse a good blowjob, no matter where it's coming from. I'm saying it was females, right? I don't know about that down low stuff. They're out there. You show them something, you tell them, okay, let's go over there. The phone rings and say, wife, where are you, honey? Oh, I'm just stuck in a traffic jam. Yeah, we know what kind of jam you stuck in. Trying to touch that lady's tonsils. But there are good men out here. It's almost like years ago, Mike Tyson hit it on the head. And we're talking about the older, wilder Mike Tyson. He said, with these chicks out here, he says, if they're around me, I'll say it like I'll throw them some money. These chicks out here, I know what they want because I'm Mike Tyson and I'm out here making all this money and they see me as an opportunity. So I know they're lying. But it's like when you're watching porn and you're playing with yourself and you're imagining that woman to be yours. I tell them, after I pay them, I say, hey, while we're doing it, tell me you love me. Lie to me and tell me you love me. So you accept the lie. Even Mike Tyson had to go through that. Heavyweight champ of the world, one of the most recognized faces on the planet. When he had a pay-per-view fight, the world shut down. And even he had to say, lie to me and tell me you love me. In essence, I know you don't love me, but let's play pretend. That's a damn shame that has come to that. On his higher levels of making all those hundreds of millions, we can understand that because the sharks are going to go after the big kill. But just the regular working guy who wants to deal with someone, who's interested in someone, and he finds that this woman is all about the bag. She could be working in Wendy's, KFC, or McDonald's, but she's going to try to play you now because of all the compliments and all the sweet talk that she gets on Instagram. So she has an inflated value of her self-worth. Like she feels that, and everybody, you know, there's grannies out here doing this stuff now. They're doing it. Now, being out here in West Africa and going through the country, not Accra, where I'm near, in the surrounding areas, but way out in the country. And I've told brothers too, I said, listen, you know, the thing is, you'll find women who are not so caught up in the superficial Western way of thinking. They're simple, and I don't mean in a bad way, they're just uncomplicated. The culture here is different. See? They want a man to secure them so they can secure the home. So when that man comes home from earning his money, there's a clean home, a nice meal, and a pleasant demeanor. Her head is not filled up with the lies and the illusions that come on social media. Girl, you better get smart. You can get some money out of these men. But when they get to a certain age and they live like this and they're stripped out because they sold themselves to so many people and have so many soul ties that have them confused to the point of being bipolar. Because you know, anybody you lay with leaves a mark on you. This is why most don't want to be bothered with those types. They're shot. They're confused. They have so many entities and spirits that are on them from years of abusing themselves, and they can still keep their bodies up, but they know too much. What do I mean by know too much? Too many random penises have been up inside them. They had too many random penises down their throat. I'm not trying to be lewd, but we have to say it the way we have to say it. All for what? A piece of paper and the illusion of a life of glamour that you can live. So the good guy is trying to come to you to build. And that's what I mean. I'm not talking about any of the guys who want you for one thing. And you shouldn't even cheapen yourself that way. Even when the nice guy that you run into, when you're worn out mentally and want to settle down, and there's no guarantee he's going to be there, he's going to know something's up because he cannot have all of you. You're too connected to too many other men. Your vibration will be low. Some women who think this way don't want to think that or don't want to understand that because the money grab is good. I know many strippers. Make a long story short, when I used to drive the van in Queens, the dollar van in the street, I run into people who want cab fares. I run into people who want to do, say, for example, take me to Atlantic City for the day. Take me and all my girlfriends to Atlantic City. Or we're going to spend the night in Atlantic City. We're going to pay you for your hotel room. Or if you want to bunk up with us, there's a lot of that going on. We're going to make sure you paid. And I got paid. Well, I ran into a young lady who lived in my neighborhood, and she was a stripper. I knew she was a stripper. I got radar out my backside. So one day I was coming in, she was leaving out. She says, oh my God, Lance. Well, you know, everybody who knew me from back in the day, they call me Lancey, right? Lancey, even though she was younger than me. was like, what's up? She said, listen, I got to get to Jersey really quick. I can't take public transportation to get there on time. I don't drive. I said, I know that. Could you take me? And I was tired, y'all. I didn't want to say, pay me all of this money or whatever have you. I said, okay, I'll take you. And I was waiting for it. She, oh, I'm going to pay you. Even though I'll do favors and stuff, I was tired. So I ended up taking her to New Jersey. What part of Jersey was this? I forgot. And here we are in Jersey. She was trying to get to this particular strip club. Now, you know, in the world of stripping, you can't just strip in the same club week after week, month after month, year after year. After a while, like, I know you already. I done been around you already. I see you all the time. When the new girl comes in, ooh, who's that? So in order to maintain your freshness in this world, you have to circulate between clubs. Even if it's in the same state, some of the women have circulated so much within the same state because that world is small. So you may go to a different city in the same state. You may see some of the same girls that are circulating. Now you have to go to different states. And so when I got there, it's cold winter. Some of the other girls were coming back to New York City. So they asked us, your driver got a big van, man, it's nice. He's taking you back. She said, yeah, that's what he's waiting here for me. I'm gonna pay him. You think he'll take me? He said, yeah, but you better pay him. So they all gave me all this money. I dropped them to their doors because she let them know Lance don't play that. All of the cab drivers that would take them and they pay them, they come back showing up the next day in front of their door. Now this girl may have her daughter or be with her mother the next afternoon relaxing on the front steps. And here comes this clown from the night before who has one thing on his mind. You see what I mean? So I can understand the mentality of women who do this over and over. It gets more and more hardened. It's not pliable anymore. You've been through much trauma in your life already, and now you're subjecting yourself to this for money. You are ruining yourself. Your mind will never become the same. It's going to take a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer, a lot of therapy to undo what you did for the money. And men are not going to want to deal with this, even when some say they want to, because I've been in countless hours of conversations with women who have been strippers all the way up to doing the VIP. I don't know what they call it now, but VIP is usually in a strip club, some back room somewhere. You can have sex. So the guys will say to them, listen, you do VIP? Yeah, I do VIP. How much you charge? Oh, I charge X amount for this. It's prostitution. Every stripper doesn't do VIP. So I didn't mean to get so deep into that, but I know these worlds personally. And I've observed it, weighed it out, calculated it, and put it on the shelf. So now we move up into this time period, and we have men who ask the question, just as the good women do, are relationships worth it anymore? Are relationships worth it anymore? We have the guys who are professional tricks, Johns, prostitute customers, who that's all they want. Because they don't want any of these women. They want them to lay down with, to tell them what to do as far as their freakish desires, but they would never marry these types. Then you have the women who will do it, but they would never marry or get close because they've been so damaged from these transactions. So even if you're not a stripper, even if you're not out here on OnlyFans, even if you're a person who says, I don't lay around with a lot of people, but your mind may be tainted by what's out here today. You may have the mind of one of these women, even though your odometer doesn't say that you had this many people, right? So we better step back from this. It's by design. We already know online we have the popular activity going on where black women don't want black men and black men don't want black women. I don't see Jewish men saying this about Jewish women. And to be honest, there's a lot of Jewish men up in them clubs with black women doing their thing, and they go home to their own woman who they would not even see. They wouldn't allow it. even if they have no relation. Listen, sister, you're a Jew. You can't be up here doing this, disgracing us. But we are so separated from the communal way of thinking, from the whole community and representing our community. We're not even thinking about how we represent our own families because we've been disappointed by our families lots of time. I got to get it. I don't care if they find out what I do. They ain't giving it to me. They want me just to go to school and get a little career, getting a little money like that. And the way they treat me. No, I got to get it. Sisters, let me tell you something. All of y'all ain't going to get it. All of y'all ain't going to walk down the street with something tight on and hanging out all over the place, which if you are with a man and you're behind closed doors, that stuff looks real good. But it don't look real good to a real man, when you're putting yourself out there as community booty. And I do say the word booty, which we know is the spoils of war when a people are conquered. So when you have this mentality, you are conquered. You have become booty, and your men refer to you that way also, because we've all been conquered as a people in this world. I'm not saying all of us. I said all. We all feel the weight of it, at least. And some of us are straight conquered and will never see anything different. Like I say, I always ask, and I ask this show, how many people in the Black community, percentage-wise, are through? They're not going to be part of the rise of us. And quite naturally right now, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm here talking about it. And for those who think a certain way, I want them to amplify and rise higher. But you're going to have to do it pretty much by yourself. And that's sad. What happened to our community? Minister Farrakhan said a people can rise no higher than its woman. So here you are, brother, throwing bags of money at these women. Their minds are getting more and more messed up. But yet let me tell you something. Let me tell you something real funny. And it's not funny. One day I was 39, and the next day I woke up, I was 60. That's exactly how it feels. Whatever time I leave this earth, if it's 100 years old, it's going to feel like 5 years from now. The trick and the funny thing of time, it's a trick. It's an artificial thing. And again, I say, I feel time is moving faster. Not what goes on the clock, but what we perceive time to be according to us. It used to be 24 hours. From what I'm hearing and what I feel and what I assess, the day is going by in about 16 hours. 16 hours. Time is moving fast. I'm finally looking at the chat room. I'm sorry for those I didn't acknowledge. Right? I acknowledged everybody here pretty much. Gifty Sine, Alicia, Peaceful Pulley, Jack Griffin. And that's all I acknowledge. Me just for the main point, since I got back here and I see some things. Jeff Spark, welcome up. Queens in the house. Jeff Spark. Who else is here? Sunglow Rays. Good to see you here. Lola's Superstar World. Wonderful. Indigo King, 1111. Elephant Shaka. Abolia, how are you? And on Facebook, we have Marvin Banks. Come on over to YouTube, brother, because there's not many comments going on over there, if you can. LANCESCURV. YouTube, LANCESCURV. That's where everybody's kind of hanging out. What he said was sad. We had to wake up to the truth, but it's best for the good of mankind. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I see here, Lola, you said most men don't want to build anymore either. And most men now are using women as a stepping stone, I guess that's what you meant, for progress, and they leave you high and dry. Let me tell you something. Here's an example. This was shared with me in a conversation not too long ago. Men become homeless. I'm not saying just, I'm going to be homeless just because Lance said just to run an experiment. No, if you find yourself homeless. Women, if you find yourself homeless, who's going to come out of homelessness easier? With men, they're going to say, listen, you better get a job. They're not going to help you find a job. They're going to tell you, just get a job. You'll be all right. Homeless, get a job. So many obstacles, right? But a woman may have it a little easier. She can put out a GoFundMe. She can whatever. And the pity, and I'm not knocking it, but you know, it's for a woman to be used as a stepping stone. She's got to be in a position to do so. I'm not knocking what you said because that is a partial truth, but that's not the whole truth. See, that stepping stone stuff, mainly, it's women. It's women. Men use women too. I understand that. You got some man bums out here who are looking for women to find a place to sleep tonight. Granted. And they use women, a lot of these men. But overall, women get a lot of offers in the day for all types of things. We're not even talking sex. They can flirt with you a little bit, and the man is hypnotized. Like the snake charmer. And a lot of times they don't even have to have sex with the man. Just dress provocatively and wiggle a little bit and just act sexy around him. And he can't help his hand from going in his wallet for whatever you want. Oh, baby, you want some lunch? I'll buy you lunch. You want dinner? I'll buy you dinner. Knowing he don't even have it for that. I'm not knocking the brother, but maybe he's on the come up and said, I'm going to sacrifice and build myself up to be ready for a good woman in a relationship. But them charms are hard to resist. Them charms are hard to resist. Brothers, look at this beautiful sister in front of you. Look at her eyes. Look at the lips. I'm not looking no lower, but there's a whole lot of thing behind that banner. She's made to disarm you. Not in a bad way. Because when women seduce, but they can seduce you for right or wrong. A woman can make a man who has no enthusiasm want to knock the ball out the park every time. Go out in the world and knock out the world for you. If you do it right. If you do it the other way, you'll motivate him to think he's getting somewhere. And you have no intentions on being there with him. You go out in the street. Like I said before, you could be in rollers and a house coat on your period and have a bad case of diarrhea. Anus straining to keep that stuff in. But you run out to the store real quick. There'll be some man who look at you and be like, I want to get with her. I don't care if she got morning breath. It's amazing. A man, he doesn't get those kind of offers. He doesn't get, not like that, unless he has some kind of status, some kind of money, some kind of fame. But the average Joe is not going to get it like that. Women will look over him. He may have value, covert value that you don't know about, where he's going to be something in 5 years. But if he's not there yet, you don't pay him no mind. Now, I'm not bitter about this because I'm off the market. I'm just telling you what I see. That I would not want to be bothered if I was in this time and in those age groups. I'd take my time and find somebody who wants to build. And it's much more rare now today. We got the finger pointing. We got the people who are trying to say it's one or the other. That don't work because it's both. But it ain't everybody. This Instagram and OnlyFans has gassed women up and it's messing up the motherland. The target to destroy lots of things of us in the world, they focusing over here. Because Africa, our Kebulon, is the future. And the oppressors know that. So they want to have men who don't want to be men, but want to lay with men. They want to cause it where women who don't want to be full women, but they want to just have women. We're living in a weird day. Anybody who is a certain age, I'm 60, right? And it hits you how much of a time we're living in. Say, for example, fellas, you're talking to a female and you're having a normal conversation. You haven't made any moves. You're just checking her out. Even if you're not checking her out, you're having let's just say you're having a friendly conversation. and you ask her relationship status. And say, for example, you're in a long line at Walmart or a store. You're just meeting her and you're talking, and you talk enough on something that may have happened funny. There may have been a fight in the store and you're laughing about it or saying how tragic it is. And this opens up the conversation. It might be New Year's Eve. And you know, when you go to the store at 11 o'clock and 10 o'clock New Year's Eve, it's backed up. So you're talking. So after a while, you're comfortable enough. I say, oh, you have any kids? Yeah, I have kids, and I'm married, and okay, nobody's hitting on each other. So you ask her, right? Well, what's your relationship status? Oh, I have someone in my life. Okay, cool. You married? We're gonna get married. It's wonderful. And then another woman walks up to this woman and smacks her dead in the mouth and tongues her down. Throws her arm around, and they both look at you. This is my boo, and we're going to get married soon. And you're like, okay. Because back then, when this stuff really started coming out, that wasn't the norm. So you were doing the Ralph Cramden, even though you know these things are there. For some woman, a black sister, to just, well, this is like, wait a second. This, where y'all going with that? There was a young lady, I won't say her name. Well, I think I did before. I had a nickname for her. And she was an ex-heroin addict. And she lived in my neighborhood. I won't say proximity, but she was in the same block. She was across the street, but I'm not going to say where, because people who know me real good and grew up with me, pretty much, they know who it is. And she was a clown, and she knew it. She was gay, okay? She was gay, and because of the heroin, she had that way of talking. I don't know what it is about heroin addicts that really heavy into heroin, right? You start talking like this, know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying part, that's on them, depending on how they speak. But it was, okay, I want to just acknowledge my brother. And I don't want to say his real name, his government name. Yeah. Weo. Brother Weo. I'll just say that. If you're live, just hit me back on WhatsApp to let me know if you're live or if you're here watching it live. This show. Gave me a compliment on not last night's show, the one before that. But this young lady who still shot heroin, but we thought she was done with it. She used to see me with different young ladies, right? At that time of my life. And I'd bring them home, we'd hang out, maybe they'd spend the night or whatever. And she lived across the street. And she was always up early, went to bed early. This is what she would say, because this is how she talked. I'm not saying all black women are gay or whatever talk like this, but this is how she talked. The heroin in her voice. Yo, Lance, know what I'm saying? Man, I don't know what you be doing and shit, but I'm telling you, you be bringing them honeys home. I mean, I ain't never seen nothing less than an 11 or 12. That's what I'm talking about. But there was one you brought up there the other night. Shoot, I ain't gonna lie. If I had her in my possession, I'd be all up in that. I'm like, with what? With what? What you gonna be all up in? Where you going with that? To each his own. What you do in your bedroom is your business. It's none of my business. I'm just saying how the times are changing. You always have this woman who is with a man. I mean, in the hood and in the black neighborhood. I'm not saying all black people live in the hood. You know what I'm trying to say. Because there's some good, intelligent people who are in the hood, only temporary, but that's what they can afford to lay, where they can afford to lay their head. 2-3 years from now, they're gone, and they're somewhere else better off. So it doesn't mean you're stuck there, but so many people are stuck with the hood mentality. You see what I mean? But one of the things I always thought, how come there's always this gay chick who befriends this single mother after the father of the child hurt her, broke her heart, and left? And there's that gay chick who's a butch trying to be the man, sliding on up in there right after, and this woman's heart is so broken. the butch can manipulate her mind that even if that single mother never been with another woman before, she's with her now. And that gay chick takes over as the man. And she can't stand it when the baby daddy comes around to see his child. Well, you ain't no real man, you know what I'm saying? I had to be using the girl's voice, and I gave her a nickname. I called her Dykely. I talked about it on some of the comedy shows I did before, how she walked, how she talked. But you know what? I made them little quips and stuff like that. But deep down, she liked me. Not like want me to go to bed with her, but she liked me. She loved me. And I loved her for what, like at the core, she had a good heart. But every time she saw me with somebody and she was telling me, man, I'd get all up in that. And I'm saying to myself, with what? Where are you getting up? Are you going to get her pregnant now too? It's crazy. The modern day, what is considered the norms. And there's so much deception, so much, like I say, secret agendas and hidden motivations, opportunists, clout chasing, gold diggers, double lives, toxic dysfunctions. And then both sides have it, more or less. So how do we match this up? We got to clean the slate. Okay, yes. Wow, brother, thank you so much. You must have heard me. Yeah, I see the time. Yes, indeed. I know we have 5 hours difference and stuff. Much love to you, brother. I'm just putting in the work, and we definitely have to talk. You're one of my mentors in life. My parents loved you. I'll say they love you in the present tense because I don't believe in saying it in the past tense because their energy is somewhere. And you, aside from my father, was one of the first examples of a real man who held it down. My brother's watching this show, so I'm speaking to him for a second, right? But yeah, self one, what you just said, we have to have real conversations. We got to do better. We do. Because we can't ignore. Thank you. Thank you, brother, so much. I'm never going to let you down. Thank you. We're going to keep it real. This is my brother, my brother boy. I love you, brother, righteously. And one day soon, I'm going to do a show about you without saying maybe your name, because I know you move in anonymity, a very private person. But I have to give you your props. I'm going to do it very soon. I'm not going to say specifics where people know who you are, but they're going to know your essence. And I'm going to talk about you in a very good way. But yeah, we've accepted things that we shouldn't have to accept. All of these things went on. We had the womanizers. We had the one that would give it up in the neighborhood. We knew that chick. And a lot of us were going over to a place. You see, it was something back in the 70s. Let's be real, y'all. Let's be real. Women were not really, and they were behind closed doors, but generally the good girls. They weren't going to get down on their knees for you. You know what I'm talking about. We ain't talking about praying. They don't do that. You had that chick that she was down for it. She liked it. She didn't care. You didn't want to walk down the street with her because they already knew who she was, but you visited her from time to time. I'm not saying all men. I'm just putting this out there, symbolically. But as the time moved up, where women didn't state what they like and there's nothing wrong with a woman having fun with her partner, her mate. There's nothing wrong with her getting into the lovemaking. But now it's so out there in the requirements on a man. We're not just talking about in the bedroom, but you better be 6'3" at least. You better be at least 250 pounds of solid muscle. You better have no body fat on you. You better be making at least $150,000, and you better be driving a car damn near that, a luxury vehicle, and you better have more than one, and you better have time to take me on vacations. You better have time to go ahead and spend all this money on me, shopping sprees, not just in the city we're in. We're going to fly out. I want to go shopping in Paris. I want to get shoes in Italy. I want to go What is this, a job application? What the heck? And so brothers out here who work a regular job, a government job, whatever, that down the line will pay them for the rest of their life, that over time, if you take your time and budget your money right, you'll have a home that's yours, that's eventually paid for. You'll get a check. Not that you're just waiting for a check. You can still do side businesses, but you can be comfortable. While all of the people out here who are chasing this superficial dream of superstardom and fame and this glamorous lifestyle, as they prostitute their way into it, they find themselves middle-aged, worn down, and prospects of anything to build low, because you done ran out of time and you done worn yourself down. So these men say, are relationships worth it anymore? Do I have to pick up the pieces of a broken woman who either wore herself down or stayed up and had babies with the Pookies and the Ray Rays from the hood because their mind wasn't expanded to say, listen, I want better, not just on a financial level. Who doesn't want better on a financial level? But find somebody to damn build with. You want to just have somebody show up and everything, all the boxes are checked. You better be hanging down to your knee. It's crazy. As you get older as a man, that is not important anymore as much. That's how nature is. And when you say something that's so true that they don't want to hear, they get mad at you. You're hating. You probably want me. Want you for what? I probably done hit your mama way back in the day before you were even born. I'm not saying that really, but really, I can be slick at the mouth too. What are you going to show me? Like that young girl who, in adolescence, and she's growing and developing, and wintertime has been very good to her chest. And she went from an A cup to a C cup, and the next year to a D cup. And she thinks the whole world is going to marvel at what she got because it's new to her. What you got ain't nothing new, girl. You're not going to play that game on me. I've had younger girls in America and some of them out here try to think that they can bedazzle me with the physical charms. Yes, you're built nicely. But I ain't rolling like that. Do you have more to offer? What do you have to offer? What have you been building? What have you been doing? Some who are on that whole stroll called Instagram and OnlyFans. See, you ain't got to be on the street no more to be a hoe. To be a hoe. It don't mean that if you're a woman who loves having someone you can make love with, it doesn't mean you're a hoe. No. But the bottom line is, we lie to ourselves. And you know what? Just like that other whole stroll called TikTok, time is moving on. And you have to understand. Oh, look what Clarissa said. And if they have a big butt, you can't tell them nothing. And they get BBLs. What does a BBL do? It has the same effect as plastic artificial plants and flowers next to the real thing. Do you think the bumblebees are going to land in that to try to pollinate? It's fake. First of all, coming from a bodybuilding background, I know the human anatomy, and I look at women as physiques. And when you have this big thing sticking out, this artificial thing sticking out of proportion with your legs and your thighs and your hamstrings, calf muscles, right? That don't look good. And any man who goes after that, he has an artificial taste for things that are not real. So let's just talk real. If you can get horny, looking at that, 2 huge butt cheeks, what does that do? You humping on something that's not real. What do butt cheeks do anyway? There's no orifice on them. They look good, not the BBLs, but the natural thing. Work out and lose the right weight and put the right weight in the right place. But just to be unhealthy and slap on two musty, big, ugly looking whatever, there's no appeal in that. Show me your mind. Show me your integrity. Show me your desire to want to build with me, that we can build together. You see, I'm not going to say all white people. I'm not going to say all people who are not black, because we got the same things going on in these other communities, but my focus is not that. But I tell you one thing, when you see that, let's just make up one scenario. I'm not saying everything, everybody. But when you see that middle-aged white woman, I'm not saying all, I'm not putting white people over us. I'm just using this as an example. We being real today. And she has a man, her husband, and he's driving a nice car. And they seem to be very comfortable. And you say to yourself in your state of mind, oh, I wonder how she got him. I wonder how she roped that one in. She got a good deal. You know, their house is damn near a mansion. They got the luxury car. They take all the trips. They go shopping. Not that I'm trying to paint. I'm overinflating this to make a point, y'all. Ooh. And the woman goes over to the white woman. The sister goes, how did you rope him? She said, I didn't rope him. But nobody was around 30 years ago when I was 20 years old, when I first met this man. And he was working a regular retail job. But I saw his qualities. I saw his family. Every member of the family wasn't there. There was no father there, but he had a good mother. She ran things right. He had integrity. I knew he was going places. I often used to go to the store that he worked in. A lot of pretty girls walking around. He didn't bother with them other than being very professional. I liked that. He didn't know that I liked him. And so after a while, I could tell that he liked me. We exchanged numbers. We hung out in the park. We didn't do anything extravagant because he didn't have that kind of money. 2 years later, we made it official. We're seeing each other. By the time we're 25, we are married. You know, I'm 55 now, and I've been with this man for 30 years. And I worked hard, and he worked hard. And we built what we have together over time. We went through some rough times. We had some deaths in the family. We had some health issues, the both of us, that we overcome. But we stuck together. And now look at what we have. What I have with this man is not a gimmick. It's not some come up. It's nothing that I had to rope him in with. I didn't have to alter my body. He knew my body all these years, and my body is not what it used to be. Because I know his attraction for me and his love for me wasn't based in lust. It was based in the love of who I am. I don't rush to get plastic surgery anymore, or any at all. No, we're going to age naturally. But he doesn't love me for the physical form. He's enjoyed it. We have many wonderful kids, and we still enjoy each other. And even after he may not even be able to perform and gravity takes over and wins the battle, I don't want to take any blue pill. Because to be with him all these years, the way he appreciates me and treats me, I wouldn't trade that for the world. This is what happens when you build. So if you're looking for somebody that's already got it going on, maybe you might find it. But understand, there's so many other people out there jockeying for that position. And the men these days, they utilize all the options that they have pretty much. Many don't have integrity. But this one here that I have, we started from scratch. We've been together a long time. And what you see, we both built. Not just him, not just me, but the both of us. And it was not easy. Are you willing to find somebody at a young age at ground level? Because everybody's gold sometimes was once somebody else's trash. So fellas and sisters, when you think you got a catch, that catch possibly that you're trying to rope off because of what they have now may not be somebody you want to be with. Okay, let's bring up a name. We don't know if it's true or not. I have to say that. We have to say alleged, right? But we know. We see what's going on. P. Diddy. He got money. And there are women who don't even mind that he may like the same sex. They just want to be in the come up. So they'll tolerate anything he requests. And it doesn't even thrill him anymore, I would believe, since he's not into women really like that. If he had to choose one, what you think Diddy would pick? Come on in the chat room. Tell me, male or female? You just have to put M or F. MF? MF? No, I don't mean it that way. But M or F. P. Diddy, if he had to make one choice, what do you think it would be? M, male, or female to be with for the rest of his life? Exactly, Carissa. Exactly. Exactly. And it was said here, married people are off limits. Hilarious how folks set their eyes on a married man, especially the ones online. That is so true. That is so true. I could tell you some stories. I'm seeing that. Selfwin said M. Head Knot and Sons. How are you, my brother? P. Diddy M. Exactly. We know. We look, I'm not claiming him as our people, but he's a black man, and we can read our people when they're even deviant and wayward. We can read them. You know. Come on. You see that little family, got a couple boys, got a couple girls, you know, maybe it's a single mother. I'm not knocking single mothers, I'm just saying. And you don't tell her. But people that y'all know, they walk down the street, see that one there? He's 6 years old, but I can see it right now. You can see it too? Yeah, he ain't too straight. He got a little sugar in his loafers. We can see it from young. You can see it from young. I was always old freak. There'd be women, you know, around. I'm 6, 7 years old. They'd be sitting on a stool somewhere. And I go over and sniff the seat when they get up. They have some nice big butt. Not big, but a nice shape. Like, what are you doing? I love me some women. You see what I mean? I mean, not like I'm out of control now. I'm just saying my wiring was strong even from, I didn't know what I was doing. I just happened to do that, baby. And I laughed. I'm gonna sniff it. At 70 years old. But the thing is, it's so true. Let's think about that. How many of us are willing to build? How many of us, and I'm asking this to the sisters, I'm not saying you who are here, I'm just throwing this out in general. How many sisters really thought to themselves, I want to build with someone in this superficial, materialistic age that we're in? It don't exist. It may be for a temporary time. Get to ground level. Find somebody who has the same dreams, visions, and aspirations as you, and build it from there. Make sure they're fundamentally sound. That any dysfunctions or any toxicities that they have, or any ways that they have, that they look to heal and take care of it. They have to do this to be ready for you. You have to be ready. He has to be ready. You got to be brutally honest. Because if you can't be, and you're still going to have, just like on those jobs, you have a 90-day probationary period. See, because they say 90 days, there should be more that you got to walk the straight and narrow, because if you show your ass on the job and you're in that probationary period, they can fire you without any retribution from you. I'm not saying it should be 90 days. It should be a couple years, because you have a lot to lose. You have a lot to lose. And those who have a level head, they ask the question, are relationships worth it anymore? Yes, if you get the right one. But how many of us have had situation after situation after situation that chips away at our enthusiasm to just be with somebody completely, which can be a beautiful thing. but we've been burnt so much, male and female, to the point where, to be harsh, maybe it's too harsh to say, a lot of the brothers out here like, listen, I'm tired of my money getting taken away from me. I'm spending and they're charming me and they go off and they're with somebody else. Pump and dump. Pump and dump. You don't know what that means, right? A lot of nice guys now have that mentality, and I don't blame them, because if I know their situation time after time, because there's a lot of time and energy that goes into relationships. And if you're in it to play with a man's pocket and his penis a little bit, but his pocket you want, maybe his status, or maybe by being near him, it could bring you to a higher level, a higher pedigree of people. I've seen that a lot. And brothers, stop running after the woman just because of what she got physically. I'm talking about the ones who haven't been through the mill, who are younger, who are coming out of their teens. Anybody technically that you lay with, technically by the Bible, you shouldn't be laying with anybody, but let's just be real about it. Technically, anybody you lay with, you should be prepared to be with them for the rest of your life, just in case there's a pregnancy that you didn't plan. But that's perfection on paper. A lot of us in our youth, we feel we can roll the dice and take a gamble. Roll the dice, you got it in her hand. Yeah, she got them nice lips, them DSLs. She got that backside, them thighs. She has a good job. I think I'm gonna mess around a little bit. Bang! Got twins. And you weren't around her long enough to know she nasty. She don't know how to keep a home, don't know how to cook. I'm not sexist when these things are demanded, because both male and female should be able to take care of themselves independently, excellently. And one of the ways is when you see their home, how they keep it, how they keep themselves, how they take care of their bodies, their minds, and their spirits with self-care. How they're not all out in the street gossiping all day. They move with purpose. They have visions that they're working hard toward. They're focused. They're in the process of going after stuff, even if they don't have it right now. This goes for males and females. A lot of good looking women out here. And ladies, there are a lot of good looking men out there. I don't know, because I don't look at men. I'll just say that to be even. That's for you all to say. But beyond that, what do they have going for themselves? How do they see you? This is a thing. We, as men, and I can only speak as a man, I'm quite sure the sisters get it too, but we don't think, what does she see in me? How does she view me? Is she really paying that part any mind? Is she looking at this as a short-term thing? I don't know. A lot of us don't even care. We just want that instant gratification of what can happen that night. For those who are older and been through the mill, been through several situationships and relationships or marriage, whatever, you had a gumbo. You had like that starter kit, a little bit of everything, right? And you're really not feeling it. Well, you know what? If you meet somebody at that point, after you've been used and abused and you're worn out, you can date. You have yours and she has hers, because she may have attained a level of stability and security, and she doesn't want to risk it by letting somebody in her world. You have attained a measure of security and stability, and the peace of mind that you have from coming home, and you don't have to deal with any disrespect or toxic behavior, that's more important to you now than having a body to lay next to. Now, we'll talk about unfulfillment in relationships. I've been having several conversations with people who are going through things. I've been through things in my life, and that's a whole different dynamic. So sometimes when I'm speaking on one thing, it doesn't contradict, but if you look at it through the lens of what we're talking about and what we're going in surgical precision with each one you'll understand. Because my thing is human nature. I'm not out here trying to be some YouTube news guy. Well, today in Texas, this happened and blah, 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 blah. They got all that out there already. I'm just a dude that you sat down on the park bench near me and we started talking and you're like, damn, I like this conversation. And you stayed out an extra 2 hours longer than what you thought. I'm that dude. So I want to talk real stuff. I don't want to put myself out there as some news anchor. I'm not. Lots of times now I don't even care about the damn news unless it has something to do with me or my people, right? But all the other stuff that they're just taking the world down into hell with, I don't care about that. I'll watch it because I don't want to get caught up in these things that are there. That's what I'm going to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about it later. Probably I'll talk about it tomorrow. But if I do a show later, I'm going to speak about what I see coming in the next year and a half. And why we got to be careful of that. Not fear-mongering, but just practical thinking. See, black folks are so caught up in some stupid stuff. Not all of us, but you know what I'm talking about. Speaking of, this is family talk. We talk, we at the cookout, and we on one side, the music's playing, the kids running around little balloons with little plates of cake, and we over here having a good conversation on this Sunday. I don't have to be politically correct. That's why YouTube doesn't like me too much, because I'm not politically correct. They want everything in la la land for their advertisers. They don't want people to have real conversations. They have to be superficial in this fake thing. I don't see color. The hell you don't. What if it happens between two men or two women? It doesn't. What you mean? How are we going to procreate into the future? How do they got these freaks teaching our kids about two men having anal sex? Come on, what the hell is this? They shouldn't even be knowing about sex right now. Why are you pushing this stuff on them? No wonder we're screwed up. And if we screwed up now and how we treat each other, if we don't get it straight, give it 5 or 10 years. Let them little 6 and 7 year olds learning about Adam and Steve. Let them get 18 years old. 12 years from now, they're 6 now, and let them get, and everything that's shocking to us because we know what should be, they don't get shocked because this stuff was pushed on them from early. And they'll come against you, your own children. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. You don't know it, but I'm a boy, and I have lots of girlfriends, but I had a couple boyfriends too. Like, what? And there go the parent. What did I do wrong? You let your kids go into this public school system, let these devils and these demons and these oppressors and the enemy program them. School programs. What do you think they're going to do to you? They can't even have a childhood anymore. The young girls who are not even teenagers are prepared to twerk and use their body and shake their moneymaker and do what they got to do to get money. Get money. Get money. Get money. Then what? When you give away the most precious thing you have, not because it feels good, not because you're built nice, but you're bringing in the future of our people. And if your womb is contaminated as well as your mind, what kind of children are you going to bring into this world? You can't separate the fruit from the tree. I never saw an orange tree that had a couple mangoes growing on it. I never saw a watermelon that had lemons growing out of the same part of it. The fruit don't fall too far from the tree. And the sisters that are pregnant, their thoughts have an effect on the child. Their emotions have an effect on the child. It's not just that you're connected to them and what you eat goes into their body. Their sense of spirituality, their sense of what's around them. And while you are what's around them, you transmute things into them. They come out crying like any other baby. They come out smiling and giggling, whatever, but they're already programmed with things that will come out later that they now have a propensity for because of the way you were thinking. listening to all kind of music and have all kind of thoughts in your head, even if you're not drinking alcohol during your pregnancy and smoking weed. I don't drink no alcohol. I stopped that. I don't smoke no weed. I stopped that. I want a clean vessel for my baby. But the thoughts you're thinking, the things you're doing, our children are coming out with that auxiliary jack. What do I mean by that? Remember back in the 80s, you have a receiver and you have a jack that you can put the CD player in. You had a jack that you can put the Technics turntables in. You had a jack that you can put the tape recorder in, and then the equalizer. They have these jacks that make it possible to connect with certain things. So our children are coming out with the auxiliary jack that accepts homosexuality, the auxiliary jack that accepts drug usage, the auxiliary jack that's not used for anything else. It should be used for spirituality, but it's an auxiliary jack turned inside out and upside down for decadence. They look like our children, but they're not really. They're the devil's children. And you let them become programmed. So their sense of what a relationship should be, even if you give them a good example, oftentimes, it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick. No, it doesn't. Because you sent them out to the one who wants to destroy you. And what better way to wipe out a whole race of people than to come at their children? See, those of us who are old and wise, they don't care about us. They don't want us talking. That's why they shadow ban us on the social media platforms. You can't be talking that righteous stuff. They might listen to it and they will be released from our deadly grip that wants to program them for death, while we sit back with our low birth rates. And you have it higher, but you're killing each other off. You're out there having recreational sex. So why are you surprised when the minds of the children are nothing but sport and play as they get into adulthood? Relationships, are they really worth it? What's going to come out of it? If you both are not right, what's going to come out of it? There's no criminal. There's no crackhead. There's no prostitute. There's no homosexual that when they were born, and under most circumstances, when that mother held that child in their arms, they said, "Oh, I love this baby so much. She's going to be a good crackhead." She never said that. What I mean to say is that we don't plan for these things to happen. We plan for the best. No father who, if he is in that delivery room as he should be, sees his son and holds his son up and says, "Oh, my son, he's going to suck a lot of penises out there and he's going to be the best at doing it. He's going to give so many good blowjobs to other men. I love him." No father says no mess like that. No. Back in the day when there were things that were looked at as the epitome of a profession. "Oh, my son's going to be a doctor. I know it." "Well, my son's going to be a lawyer." Now, many of our youngsters' hope is to be the best rapper, to be the best Nicki Minaj or Cardi B or Sexy Red. They can't wait to go out there and try their wares on for size for the quick money. They're not looking to be a lady of integrity, of standing, so much that when the Wayward brothers come around, I didn't say the Wayans brothers, I said the Wayward brothers. Somebody hit me on a text when, "Man, when you said the Wayans brothers, man, they ain't got nothing to do." I said, "Man, I didn't say no Wayans brothers. The Wayward brothers." When they come around and see a lady that's walking in her majesty, I don't care how corny you say it is. The bottom line is they will always tip their hat in respect. I have to answer this call. I have to step away for 90 seconds. So please bear with me. I'm going to, hold on one second. Hello, brother, I'm coming. I'm upstairs right now. All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to talk to somebody for a few, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to play a little song, and just give me a few. I have to deal with this. Don't leave now. We're going to come back. I'm going to make sure we're going to make the best part of this when I come back. Here we go.
Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition, stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion? Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we're living, for us there's nothing but hell, pain, torture, and misgiving. Yet the Bible speaks of a heaven filled with material luxury, which the white man and the preacher has right here, so we see. So my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth. So let's check back into history, which rewards all research and tells us plainly that before the white man gained entry to the East, he was living in the caves of Europe, a ravenous beast, eating juniper roots and eating flesh raw, till God sent Moses to civilize him and teach him the law. Then, following Marco Polo, an explorer, he gained entry into Asia and Africa. From China, he took silk and gunpowder. From India, he took jute, manganese, and rubber. He raped Africa of her diamonds and her gold. From the Mideast, he took barrels of oil untold, raping, robbing, and murdering everything in his path. The whole black world has tasted of the white man's wrath. So, my friend, it's not hard to tell. A white man's heaven is a black man's hell. America, we were living in the East. By the Nile River, we were living in luxury, enjoying freedom, justice, and equality. We wore silken robes and slippers of gold. We were the wealthiest and the wisest people, I'm told. Now we are the poorest of the poor. Nobody wants us at their door. So, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is black man hell. When the white man came to America, he told the Indian, I am your white brother. He said, red man, I'll treat you the best. Yet and still he pushed the Indian further west with his white woman and firewater. Tricks and lies, he stole America. The original owner of this nation is cooped up on a reservation. So, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven, black man hell. needed someone to work the land. His back was too weak. He needed you, black man, so he commissioned Sir John Hawkins to commit the world's most grievous sin, to take a man who's born to be free and bring him down to slavery, to sell a man as merchandise, on his body put a price. Oh, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is a black man hell. Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition, stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion? Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we're living, for us there's nothing but hell, pain, torture, and misgiving. Yet the Bible speaks of a heaven filled with material luxury, which the white man and the preacher has right here, so we see. So, my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell.
And I'm busy talking, and I didn't realize I was muted. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm back. Climbing them steps will definitely keep you in shape. So that's why I'm breathing, as I ran up like Rocky on the front of that courthouse in Philadelphia in Rocky 1. So, like I was saying, are relationships worth it anymore? I'd say yes. Yes, they are. But look at how, let me put these headphones on because I'm used to hearing myself talk and making sure that everything is coming through with the sound. But look at it this way. Most of the relationships we get in our lifetime, they're like, take it home and try it out and see if it works. Bring it back if you don't like it. We got to take time. We have to make some effort. We have to be vibrating at the highest. We have to make sure that we're healed. We have to acknowledge the trauma that we've been through in order to heal. We can't be in denial about those things. So okay, let's say SCURV is a single man, right? And I meet you. From the moment we meet, I'm not saying it has to be an exact time period like a job where they say there's a 90-day probationary period. But we're not going to get with each other right away. We know that the more we investigate and the more we're around each other, We favor each other. We're moving toward being a unit, right? You're still going to be an individual. See, we do things ass backward in this day and age. Sex is the dessert, y'all. You don't go into the restaurant and eat the dessert first and you're not hungry for the meal no more. You done got the dessert. You don't want to commit. I'm not saying that you want to commit just to have sex, but it gets better with time. Like that song years ago, it just gets better with time. It just gets better with time. That's what your union should be. But if you don't have a foundation, a strong foundation, a strong footing in who you are, how in the hell are you going to hold up with this next person who may not have a strong foundation when the winds of challenge come? When the traumatic times, the taxing times, the times when you have less and it's not as abundant. When you're with that person that is right for you and you get through those times and you have more abundance on so many different levels, you look back on those rough times and you realize that because that you were, the fact that you were anchored in each other, you committed to each other, you know, or you knew that you had each other's backs. You look at those times as some of the sweetest times in your life. Ain't that something? When you are probably in your mama's basement. I'm not saying that's the ultimate, but maybe she was ailing and you were trying to get in this relationship, but you could not get with this person all the way. And she said, listen, we're going to go there and we're going to take care of your mama and we're going to be together. We ain't having sex, but we're together. We're not family as far as bloodline, but we're family as far as our commitment. Who does that anymore? Who gives all of themselves anymore once they see the person is worthy? You just don't commit to something you don't know about. You don't buy the vehicle and you take it for a test drive and take it to your mechanic to get it checked out and make sure everything is right. That's the problem with us. Lady J, how are you? Good to see you here. It's true. Lust is temporary. Love is forever. Love is the cake. Lust is the icing. Do you want more icing than cake? That's too much sugar. There's too much sweetness. It's a sweetness that'll make you sick. What happens when you get older and the sex drive is reduced? What if it was built on that? Then you have nothing. Men, sometimes you can't get it up no more. Most men will experience that. There's some men who are 90 years old who are like still cranking out babies. They got some dude out here in Africa. You know, I never had a problem with my erection. I can see you got 92 kids. You're almost 92 and you got 92 kids. And those are the ones you know. We do everything backwards. There's a time when a woman is so physically beautiful in her youth. But as she gets older, that glow may not be there as much. But there's another glow that takes over. The glow of her character, her integrity, her standing. You're not going to get that, brothers, at the strip joint. Some of y'all are not looking for that. You're not looking for the real lady. Let me tell you something, fellas. The real lady, when she's all into you and she puts it on you, there ain't no stripper, ain't no hooker, ain't no side chick can turn you out like your own woman who is indulging with you out of love. She wants you to feel good, but she wants you to know she loves you. Oh my God, there's nothing better than that. I don't mean to be graphic, but you are inside of your woman about to have an orgasm. You're committed, so there ain't no condom. And you're letting off, and she's looking you in your eye, and she's whispering in your ear. And as you release your next generation into her womb, she's telling you how much she loves you. Ain't nothing better than that, as far as that level is concerned. But some 2-bit chick you met inside of a club and you VIPing and you up inside of her, the noise is around. She's there for that. You saw her with 2 other men before, and now she's with you, and she'll be with 5 others after you're gone. What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you eat off dirty plates that strangers ate off of? Well, that's what you're doing. You don't go in the restaurants, oh, I don't want this plate. Give me one of the plates that somebody that's in the soap water in the back. Just leave it as it is. I'll eat it. No, that's nasty. But because of your lust that's out of control, it don't seem nasty. See, lust will have you doing all kind of things. Have you doing all kind of things. When it takes over, you be tossing strange ladies salads and we ain't talking about no greens. And in the morning time, or when you get that phone call from the health department, have you been with Shaniqua Cook? And it's like, who is that? Oh, she goes by the stripper named Lala. How'd you get my number? Well, she went through your wallet when you went to the bathroom. It dropped out. Do you know that she's HIV positive? Oh, my God. That was 2 weeks ago. You didn't use no condom, but I had sex with my wife 3 times. Honey, we got to go and check ourselves out. Baby, why? Why? We ain't been with nobody else. Yeah, I know that, but we got to check ourselves out. Is it worth it now? Your little kids looking at you. You in your beautiful home. And Shaniqua Cook, Lala, the stripper, then dropped it on you. And you thought you was getting extra. The extra was destructive to the whole thing that you have now. All because you wanted to rub up on somebody strange. And some next man gave that to her, and he gave it to you, and all they are sitting up in the clinic looking stupid because you wanted that. Just go and get that jar of Vaseline and jerk that thing off, man, and go to bed. That's what you got to do. The soul ties involved. The confusion. For the surface pleasure, orgasms feel good. Some are better than others. You don't know this person. You just want to feel like I saw that and I wanted it, and it's once and done. It's all done. It ain't all done. Even if you don't have no HIV or caught no STDs, you still caught sexually transmitted demons. Runaway train, out of control. It's easy to get out of control because I'll say it is very difficult owning a penis, y'all. But there's no excuse. Testosterone is in you. All these good-looking women out here. Hi, Lance. How you doing? What are you doing later on? Oh, my God. When I was younger, thank God I didn't catch anything that I couldn't get rid of. There's a lot of brothers out here that I know are not here anymore. See, you're right. King of Founders Village. Accountability time. Mike Tyson says, sign the contract, big boy. Accountability time. You should have held yourself accountable before you committed the act. It happens in the mind, though. And for it to happen in the mind, your mind was already open for it. Your mind was already looking for it. It was put in your mind. But you have to process it and weigh it out and say to yourself, no. But these dudes at home try to act so perfect. No, I don't think about anybody else. Yes, you do. You're tempted. You're human. What you do as far as acting on it is up to you. You take control because you know you have to be accountable. That's what it is. But a lot of us don't want that. You know? And we get with people who lie to us, deceptive. Of course, the woman wants stability, but she sees you can provide more than the next man that she's in love with. Ain't that something? You think she loves you, but she loves the next man. You can tell she's not feeling you, but you're wondering what this is all about. And then we have that woman who'll be the perfect one for us, gentlemen. But she don't look like the Instagram model. Her butt ain't as round. It's kind of flat. Her teeth might be a little messed up. That could be corrected. But you're knocking her because she's not like these things that don't even exist. You go to the strip joint, or you look at this porn, or you see these women out here, you look at their makeup, you look at their hair. Yeah, they might have a base beauty, but they don't look like that most of the time when they wake up in the morning after the cold cream has been applied. And you fell in love with the illusion. And they got you. And they got you. How many times do we have to go through one relationship to the other? And we're losing chunks and pieces of our life. Doesn't seem like much. You know, when you get that tax return check, we're millionaires once we get that tax return check. We know we got bills to pay that we're going to need to catch up on, but we want to feel for a little while like we are millionaires. We walk through the mall or down to the shopping areas. Whether it's down Flatbush Avenue at the Albee Square Mall or Jamaica Avenue at the Coliseum in New York or 125th Street in Harlem, we're millionaires. Fordham Road, Bronx, New York City, I know it. The equivalent from wherever you are, right? Name some of the shopping centers in your area. Name them just for the hell of it, for the hell of this show and where you're from. Let's hear it. It's crazy out here, y'all. I just don't understand. Chunks of our lives, 5 years here, 3 years there. Same thing with that tax return check. You might get $2,000, $3, $4, $5. Some, got a couple kids, they get $8,000. I don't know. I'd like to get a little $8,000. It'll help me out a whole lot right about now. Let's say you get $5,000 and you have to pay half of it out in some arrears of some bills you owe. You ain't trying to hear that right now. You get the whole $5,000 in your hand and you're just spending a chunk here, a chunk there, a chunk here. And yeah, I know I got a lot, a chunk here. And you go home and count your money and all you got is $2,600. You done spent $2,400 feeling like a millionaire. And now you got $100 left over. And that other 25 got to go back to those old bills that you have to pay. We get intoxicated with this. Well, the same thing happens with these relationships and situationships that we get involved in. Oh, she looks so good. I don't care if it don't last forever, but I got to have her now. Bing! 3 years. 1 year good, 2 years bad. Now she's trash. You want to get rid of her, but she was gold before, but she was trash for somebody else. And the same goes for you, sisters, who take in these men that you don't check out first. And the longer time goes on, don't mean nothing wrong with them. But then when you say to yourself, wait a second, you 40 years old, you ain't got no kids, and what was your life like? Well, we all go through things and have children before and whatever, and you logically explain it. We all get duped, baited, and switched. But the earlier you can catch that rhythm, the better off you'll be. Because look, think back, and I don't know anybody's situation here. Money burning through the pocket. Next time you got a pocket, you might remember that leg burn. Exactly. Exactly. That's the way it is. But look at it. 5 years here, 3 years here. I was at the market yesterday, and I was waiting for an Uber. And I'm standing outside with my groceries. And I'm looking around at different people. Some older, because I'm older now. It's less older ones, because I'm up there. And a lot of younger folks who are mature, who are acting professional and everything. And I saw some couples and I saw some single people. old as I am, it felt good when a couple of girls looked at me like, oh, let me check him out. Oh, he's kind of old. An ego thing, yo. I ain't looking. But I said to myself, look at these people. I looked at the women who walked past me, who had that eye like I'm checking men out. So because I was close to them, they looked at me that way. And I said, it only takes a second. It only takes a second. It only takes a minute, girl, to fall in love. To fall in love. Ding, 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 ding. I'm sorry, y'all. I had my 70s flashbacks. It's just, maybe it's a malfunction of the brain. But this is how I entertain myself all day. Things just pop in my head. Old jingles were hitting me the other day. Anybody from New York City here from back in the 70s? Remember Times Square stores, TSS? There was one on Linden Boulevard in Brooklyn. In this life, whatever you do, TSS has the value for you. How am I going to remember that? That's some deep meditation to pull that stuff up. But it only takes a minute to lock eyes with somebody. And there's a transfer of energy. And you look at each other, and as a man, you want to say something, and as a woman, you want him to call out to you. Innocently. You felt this energy surge when you locked eyes. You have issues. He has issues. But that rush felt good. He's wondering, should I call to her? And she's hoping, please call to me. So she slows down just a little bit as she walks away from you. And you say, excuse me, ma'am or miss. And she turns around immediately. She doesn't want to miss the opportunity. And now you start a conversation that will now take up the next 8 years of your life. Every parting is not nasty. But what looks so good may eventually turn out to be something that you never anticipated, and certain aspects of the union you could have never thought would have existed when you met on that first day. You have to take your time, y'all. It can't be impulsive. It can't be like the impulse buying that the supermarket gets you with every time with the National Enquirer or the Star, gossip rag. Those packets of bubble gum that are overpriced, and those candy bars that they want to get rid of because they were sitting around so long in the store, but you don't know that. So as you stand there in front of these things, I don't mind a Three Musketeers bar. Probably expired in there because candy don't really expire, but some of that stuff could be so old you don't know. You buy it, impulse buying. You don't need it, but you want it because it's in your face. Brothers, you don't have to hit on every single woman that comes your way. We have this thing, lots of us, that we just got to grab it all. Well, you grab it all, you might just grab the wrong thing. And it's the same thing passively from some of the sisters. You know, you may say, I need a good man. You don't have one yet, but you ain't rejecting the offers. You want to find out how much he makes. Where does he live? He got 18 baby mamas and he's living with one. And then 2 of the other ones are fighting with that one. No, I don't think so. Ooh, this one here makes $150,000 a year. Drives a luxury car and ain't got no children. He's 35 though. Why don't he have no children? Well, you don't want him to have any, do you? And you get into that quick because everything looks good. And you realize he's not all there. I'm not saying he's crazy, but you can't understand when he was on top of you. Well, he called out a man's name. You know what that is. We got so much stuff. See, there's that one. I truly feel that. And a lot of times that one is there in our life, but we're distracted by someone else that may look better or make you feel better in the bedroom because you don't know what the other person can do. We miss out on that one, grabbing up everything that we can. Greedy, not wanting to let anything go, thinking if we grab up everything and try it out for the test drive, yeah, girl, old girl want me to come by later on, we're going to see what she got. And you're going to base your lifetime union just on that. It's a problem with us. We should have blinders. See, you know, the first time or the second time, the first time might not have been good, but the second time, one of them times in the first 3 times whipped your ass. It whipped you. Early on, before you had knowledge that other people can give you pleasure, it whipped you. And she might not have been, I'm speaking as a man because the woman, the same thing too. It might have been a man who whipped you. I don't mean spank you unless you into that. I ain't mad at you, but whipped you with the sex you had with them, and it felt so good. Felt so good. I'm going to admit, you know, I was sexually active from young, but there was one girl, was I 15 or 16 years old, and she put it on me. She went downtown. We'll just leave it at that. The way she did what she did, according to my experience level at the time, which was a lot less. By the time I hit that mighty peak, that surmountable and insurmountable, at one point, climax, my face was contorted because there was a mirror close by and I was on the bed and she was on her knees. And I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, who is that? That's me. And when that thing felt so good, you know what I said? See, I'm going to tell the things that make me look corny. I'm going to tell the things that make me look good. I'm going to tell it all because I'm just raw like that. I was like, oh, I love you. Oh, God, I love you. I love you. I love you. And we had on the headboard, there was a little round post on the end, like a little round thing on one end, a round thing. I was rubbing the wooden thing like it was her head. my nerves are all out of control. I was stroking it lovingly. What the hell I'm doing? That's wood. Unbelievable. See? It with me. Now, I think there were 2 more before that performed the same actions as well as the other things. It didn't blow my mind. But you know what? What if you never had no one else? See, the best, really and truly, this is just my guesstimate. This is just my opinion looking back. Because for me, I'd rather erase all that I ever been through before and not have the memory of that in my head. No comparisons, no memories to haunt you. You see, you get them folks, I'm not throwing off on country folks, but them little tiny hick towns, little tiny hick towns where everybody knows everybody and they pretty much know who you gonna marry from you 15 years old. Oh yeah, Becky Sue gonna marry this one. Uh-huh, he's a nice boy. And Becky Sue may not know what she's doing, but is she supposed to? Is she supposed to know what she's doing? When you are a bumbling, fumbling adolescent or older, but you have a bumbling, fumbling adolescent-like experience because the both of y'all don't know what to do, you ain't smooth operator with it. No need to ask, he's a smooth operator. You're doing what feels good and you're discovering yourself. It's a beautiful thing. And you have no knowledge of no one else. So that's the best. And you stick with this person because they're the only person who can give you pleasure in your mind. When you realize that there's other people out there, you know what I mean? It's almost like Adam and Eve before they bit the apple. They didn't know they were naked, right? Well, you with this one person, you don't know that there's other types of pleasures out there. Because that's the slippery slope that we start to climb. Because, oh, if she did this, I wonder what she can do. And this one can do. A new girl in the job, I want her too. The chick who moved next door, I want her too. My old girlfriend came back looking good. I want to go back to that for a little while. See what I'm saying? And then there's a never-ending frenzy of leapfrogging between experiences based on lust, and you haven't built anything up. And you look around, and you're older now. And you look back on your years, and yeah, on a testosteronized, I'm making up words now, on a testosteronized lust level, you have a lot of war stories to tell. But where has it gotten you? Is there more money on your pension check if you get one? Could you have invested in yourself to be a better person for that better woman who won't pay you no mind because you're all worn out? How about that? Sweet D, my love, how are you? Nice to see you here. And Jacob William, welcome on in. Raw Reality, yes. I hope I didn't miss anybody, because you know I'm running my mouth. Thank you for the compliment, Jacob. Yes. We only have so much time. Love you too. Much love. We only have so much time in this life to get it together. Why are we so determined to feel and take advantage of, or take it for granted? Not take advantage. There's no advantage in wasting time. Why? And we look around and we don't have time left. And we're looking more back on our lives than we're looking forward. At least, I'm not saying you can't have experiences, but if all your life you leapfrog from one situation to the other in a reactionary way, what's going to stick? Is all you have is memories. Are relationships worth it anymore? Yes. It's if you value it and make it worth something. I can give everybody here an acre of land and come back in 10 years and see how you cultivated it. Some will build a home and have lots of stuff to eat there. Some it'll be bushy and neglected. Some won't have a home there. They'll just put concrete on and just park up cars in there because they want money. Yeah, you can park, just give me so much money. It all depends on the person, what they do to bring value to themselves. But how are you going to improve your life when you don't even know what you want in life? You're just leapfrogging between all of these different energies and wasting your time. We make misjudgments and mistakes. Granted, nobody's the perfect person. When they were a virgin and they had the perfect situation, it was just perfect. Some may try to make it seem that way, but it ain't that way. We got to understand that. But when we meet these people so quick, like I described in the supermarket parking lot where I was standing and I saw the wandering eyes of the people, and how easy it is to catch someone's eye, how easy it is to eventually get caught up. You get caught up in the superficial, people who may not have finished the work on themselves, and you try to lie to yourself and, well, I can tolerate this and I can tolerate that. I'll overlook this. No, don't overlook it. If the person doesn't want to improve themselves and get themselves better, you need to move on. Because if you are about that, bringing your A game, bringing the best version of yourself to this relationship, they needed to be doing the same thing too. The same thing too. You got to understand. It works no other way. I'm going to wrap this down in a second. But I just have to say that there's so much that we have to talk about. You know, there's so much that we have to deal with. And it's not easy. You got to go to get to know this person who may not be transparent with you, who may be hiding things from you. And you go into this thing full force. I saw this meme. It was so funny. It was a couple. Maybe you saw it. I clicked on so much stuff. I don't know where to find it now. But there was a pool, and they had just got married. You can tell she had on a wedding dress and he had a nice suit. And I guess they said, let's leap into the pool together. And so they ran toward the pool. They were only like maybe 8 feet away from the pool. And so they both jumped, but he was on the side, pool side, on the other side, and she was the one who jumped in, and he jumped, but he landed back on the concrete. And she was the only one that made the leap that they both agreed to make. And he didn't have it in his heart to do that. It was like a joke, but that's not a cool joke. Maybe that's a premonition on how the marriage is going to be. You got to be brutally honest, y'all. Brutally honest to the point of you have to speak on things that may be embarrassing, but you have to say it. What you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate, what you like on all levels. I've told you about that book that I saw years ago in Barnes and Nobles. It was about relationships and the questions you must ask. You must ask before you even get into the preliminary steps of moving toward each other. An excellent book. Oh, I wish I could find that book to be able to share it with people. I'm not going to buy 1 million books. I don't have $1 million, but the information therein, they asked questions, y'all. They didn't leave a stone unturned. And if you're going to invest the time of your life with someone else chosen out of all the options that are out there, you better make sure that this person is worth it. Because you'll find people out here in the world, relationships ain't this, and I'll never get in that, because you made the bad choices. You didn't take time with it. And still, there's some good people out here who are very deceptive. I'm not saying they're good people. They're good at being deceptive. You see what I mean? And I hear you, Lady J. Oh, about the pool? Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's real funny. Yeah. I don't know what the title is, but there can't be too many books out there that once you describe it, people, people who are, in that business, they got to know. Because I don't think there's too many books out there like that. It was so good. I wasn't even planning on buying a book like that. I didn't buy it. I stood up in that aisle for 2 hours reading that book. It's a thick book too. I went back 5 more times, and the other times I went to get the book, get other books, I looked for it and would stand up in there for another hour and read it. I learned so much about that. It was amazing. It was amazing. And we need to have the elders that can teach us these things. But see, lots of times the elders now, they out there playing the game. They playing the game too. Like I said, you see these old men with the gray hair, you bestow wisdom on them, and they looking at you like, yo, I'm trying to get with you. Like, what? What, Grandpa? Are you serious? Unbelievable. What many of our sisters and many of our brothers have to deal with. But look, at 60 years old, the sun shining on me is no less than when I was 6 years old. And that's not even a blink of an eye in this world as far as time. I'm looking at mountains that were here long before I was born, and will be here long after I'm gone. But we get it in our head that we're so high and mighty and we rule everything. And no, we're not even a speck of dust. Not even a speck of dust. Yes, we're powerful. Yes, we have potential. Yes, we have a mission that's very powerful, but don't think too much of yourself when you think you're running this thing. You ain't running nothing. You're a part of something that's great. And your part in it is supposed to be great because of the energy that runs through you. But we get it twisted. We get a little promotion on the job and are behind us on our shoulders. We get a little internet fame and are behind us on our shoulders. Get a little attention and can't handle it. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us? I don't understand. Yeah, let me see what she said. If I can't find the book, Brother Lance, on ZELLE. Oh, no, I jumped up so look, I'm reading the wrong thing. Where'd it go? Or if I can't find the book, Sir Lancelot, you will have to vet that man I met. Oh, I'll get into a professional vetting service. Trust me. No, you don't have to pay that. I said professional because it's going to be good. Because if I sniff something wrong in a man that you're going to get involved with, I'm going to tell you. And I'm not going to be easy. Because, see, I know all the man tricks. I know all the man tricks. If he happens to drop his guard, because I'm going to try him, he's done. I'll give you the report in all the categories. And if he passes, I'll say, hey, he might have a little weakness this way or that way. It's not going to be just good or bad. This is a good brother, but he has a propensity for a little weakness in this area. You got to watch him on that. Now you have to evaluate if you want to move forward in the union, because I told you the deal. Let me spend the afternoon with him. I'll get it out of him. Trust me. Whole SCURV will do that. Imagine that. Imagine that's a business. Yeah, raw reality. Imagine that's a business. The LANCESCURV background check agency. Brother don't even know. He's getting checked out. You know what I mean? That's funny. That's funny. I got to do a skit on that. See, if I was in America, I'd do some skits, funny stuff like that. But I could do it out here. But a lot of the brothers, they just don't understand sometimes. It's a different kind of humor sometimes. You know, it doesn't mean it can't be done. But I'm looking to do so many different things in the future. But I'm going to wrap this down. I just wanted to talk to you about this. And I feel relationships are worth it. But too many of us settle and get into situationships not knowing that that's what it is. A temporary situationship. You thinking forever, and they're thinking for the next 2 weeks. Not everybody, and it's not just males, and it's not just females. It's both on different levels. So I'm not going to sit here and add into the whole fight against black women or fight against black men. We got knuckleheads in both sexes. We have foolish people in both sexes. We have people who can't even make up their mind because they want a life that, I'm not going to say they can't attain, but is it worth it? Is it worth it? Get with somebody who has the same pure intentions as you do, who wants to build sincerely, but you have to vet them. Not just no 6 months, no year. They've been living around this earth 25, 30, 35, 40 years. A year is nothing. If a person wants to get with you, they got to let it all hang out. Some are not going to like what I'm about to say before I go, but you got to let it all hang out. And this is for both sexes. A thorough background investigation. A thorough background investigation. Tell me the truth from the early part on. And when I do the investigation, whatever turns up that matches what you told me, those are some serious brownie points. Do not hide anything from me. If you had 56 abortions, you need to tell me. That's a high number. I know somebody, I think they damn near had that amount. The vagina turned black after that. Oh yeah. I didn't see it. I heard about it. Anyway, total background investigation. Best if everything turns out pristine, but if you have issues, be honest about it. Because this is what we're going to do. And you're going to do one for me. I'm going to tell you all the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you, after seeing that it matches up, if you want to invest in me, that's the only way. That's the only way we could do this thing. I'm not selling for no guesswork, or you did 10 years in a relationship, find out you got 2 daughters somewhere, you a woman, you can't even, what? You got to tell me. I want to hear it all. I don't want to hear nothing about you after I got with you. You were drunk one night. The 4 men in the car with you, you sucked them all off. I don't want to hear that. But listen, you were drunk. Drinking is just the amplifier. So you got that kind of thing in you. You blaming alcohol. Alcohol does not make you do something that you don't want to do. It amplifies the desire. So the desire was there. You're supposed to be hitting me off at home. Well, that was before you. No, then that could be during me too. And you blaming alcohol. So you could be somewhere out drinking, which if you like that, I don't want to be bothered. Because you could do anything then. Well, I was drinking. Okay, come back on in, honey. Wipe the sperm from the side of your mouth. Get out of here. Are you crazy? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It got to be transparency to the utmost. So if somebody ever comes to me, yeah, man, you see your wife right there? You don't know about her. No, I know about that. We came clean with each other. Whatever, if you choose to accept that. I'm not saying it has to be that one scenario. If she has debt and you marry her, her debts become yours. You got to weigh that out and see. If she had a history of different STDs, you got to make sure she doesn't have that in her system. I knew a chick who had a low level of something in her system. She said, it wouldn't affect us. It's not enough for you to get it. I don't know that. Thank you for telling me. See you. Now, if you're with somebody and they get sick and you're committed, you're supposed to be there. You're not supposed to say, well, she's in a wheelchair, she drooling, her eyes all crossed, she doodling on herself. No, you wipe her ass because that's your woman. You love her. She drooling, you wipe it away, and you still kiss her the same way when you saw her, just as beautiful. You wheel that wheelchair down the street and hold her hand if you can do it at the same time and walk down the street. Just treat her just like the catch she is and was when you first met her. Will she do that for you? Will you do that for her? We're talking about the deepest levels of love. Lust is a passing fancy. But when you're with somebody and you know that they truly got your back, if you can just have one person like that, that's so transparent, and the earlier you can meet them, the better. But the both of you have got to honor that standard that no matter what, even if I see a woman out there who seems to have it all, the perfect body, all the money in the world, and she wants just me, so she says, no matter what, sorry, sister, I'm committed. And you see the beauty of that woman in that wheelchair that was upright, walking just as beautiful, if not more than that other one, and you see it the same way because of what's inside of her heart. Because we ain't here for long. And if you can't give that kind of love, then you don't deserve to receive it. Yes, Peter, kiss up the drool because you love this woman. Yes, 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 yes. All these men up there, I knew a guy. I used to work with him. Yeah, I love a girl who's a swallower. Oh, damn. You know what I mean? Like, you just bust out. Is that the only criteria? Well, if she's swallowing you, you can kiss her and drink down the drool because that's your woman. That's right. Ain't nothing nasty about that. You're down there drinking in the crotch sauce. Ain't nothing nasty about that because, you in that feeling. You're going to do this thing. You in it. You should be in it on so many levels with your real woman. Ladies, you should be in it on so many levels with your real husband, your real man, your real soulmate. You talk about soulmate. Do you really believe in this? Then live like it. Perfect yourself. You're not going to be perfect, but perfect yourself. Make yourself better. Even if you don't see him nowhere in sight, he might be hidden in plain sight. You might see him every day and don't know that it's him. He might be looking at you in a longing way and just say, hey, maybe if she sees what I have inside, she'll love me. We can build something. It's all about building, y'all. You ain't gonna go, well, I'm going to the supermarket right now, and then we're gonna go to the mall, and they got this new store, they have men. Yeah, we're gonna buy a man. He gonna be perfect. Where's that at? I mean, you can get your lovey doll with a phallic extension that you can sit on, a piece of plastic and grind on and use to masturbate. And half of y'all who are in the bed making love think you're making love. All you're doing is being glorified friction providers for each other. You're masturbating each other. Or you're masturbating yourself on this person. He's thinking his thoughts and you thinking your thoughts. Oh, that man, the boy had a big bulge in his pants. He was handsome. Oh, I could just imagine. Oh, that big butt girl, the mall. Man, she was looking good. You just a body. He ain't even thinking about you. I remember there was a guy. I'll say his name. He was in the movie, The Last Dragon. What's the guy's name? At the time when I was lighter in body weight, my face was chiseled. They used to say me and him resembled each other. But the guy who's the star, it's a martial arts movie, right? The Last Dragon. And there's a friend of mine who got a part in that, a real quick part. He was one of the thugs trying to beat him up at some point. Gary Abrahamian. He passed away later on that year. I think it was that. No. I think the next year he passed away. He's a power lifter. You know the substances that bodybuilders and powerlifters take. But he's a funny guy. He couldn't stand bodybuilders. He's a big guy. Looked like he's fat, but he was so strong. At one point, he was the world's strongest teenager. I knew him real good. He liked me, not no funny way, you know. And when he talked, he was so heavy. I mean, he lost a lot of weight to lose weight, and he came down to a svelte 315 pounds. He was shorter than me. I'm 5'10", so he had to be 5'7". You'd hear him breathe. That's normal. If you hear him walk up the steps, I'm like, what is it, Darth Vader up in his BITCH? No, I just said that for the effect. You in the bathroom stall next to him, say, what you doing in there, bro? But he was a cool guy. And him and his partner, I won't say his name, Lester and Tiny. They used to call the guy Tiny. Gary Abrahamian used to call him Tiny. And they were all in. They wanted to be hard in their training. Like they were getting rid of all their creature comforts. I'm just saying this to say the punchline, which really doesn't matter. But they got rid of all the furniture. They lived together. They weren't homos. They were just like, we partners in this thing for the next couple of years until we achieve our goals in powerlifting. They worked as bouncers in clubs. They made good money, but there's no future in it. They had a lot of food to eat, steroids to buy. No furniture, no pillow. That's how hard we are. We're going to lay down on the wood floor. They were with it. And there was a girl that was hanging around the other guy, Lester. And Tiny, Gary Abrahamian, felt that was detracting from the intensity to living this life of being hard. Because you got to have a hell of a mind when you're doing powerlifting to lift all that weight. So he was saying she's not worth it. Get rid of her. It's the natural desire for a man to have a woman, but he wasn't a homo or nothing like that. But it was like, we hard in this. This is boot camp. We work, we eat, we train, we sleep. What you doing with a girl? Not now. After you stop doing what you do. And so she got smart when she caught wind that he wasn't in favor of her being with Lester. She didn't live with him, but he would go out sometime. What are you doing going out? You have to suffer. Stay inside. Think about the next workout. Lester was like, yo, it's not stopping me from it. And so she was petite, and she had a girlfriend that was petite. And I'm saying this from the little phrase he made when I said that we masturbate each other, on each other, with each other. That's the only thing we're doing. We think we're having sex with. So he got it right. He got it right. The other girl came around. I'm not interested in talking to you. I'm not interested in being with a woman. I'm all about the powerlifting. If we ever had sex, I'd grab you with one hand and jerk myself off with you. Oh my God. Because she was petite. He's just like a sleeve. What? That's all it'll be to me. And you get away from me. I'm like, damn, Gary. But we were cool because we talked. I was a little more cerebral, you know, and I titillated his mind, conversations we'd have. But you don't know how people are thinking, how they see you. What do they see in you? See, you might see something in somebody else you're attracted to and want to get with them, but how do they see you? Does one I love you match up with the next I love you? That's like me saying, I'm going to bring 4 truckloads, 18-wheelers, full of cash to the ceiling, in the back filled up, no gimmicks. Oh man, Lance said, I know he hit the lottery and you promised me 4 truckloads. 4 truckloads of money. I'll be there 8 o'clock in the morning. 7:56. You hear the windows open. It ain't cold. Sounds like trucks. Oh my God. Yo, Lance is jumping on the truck with the one truck driver, and there's 4 trucks back there. Oh my God. I hope it's not a gimmick. Hey, listen, I told you, I promise you, I'll bring that 4 18-wheelers full of cash for you. I don't know how you're going to hold this cash. We're going to help you. But you got to deal with it. Come on outside. Oh my God. He opened up the back from the window. I saw all this cash. Let's go downstairs. We're rich, we're rich, we're rich. You run outside, and it's true. The 18-wheeler in the back has cash folded, stacked perfectly, and it's all yours. But upon closer observation, they're all Japanese yen. You want to go shopping right then and there. You got to go to a bank and convert this thing over. Yeah, you're still rich, but it's not what you thought it was. It wasn't the same currency that you thought it would be if it was American dollars or American currency. Every I love you is not the same. Some I love you means I need you. Some I love yous mean I lust you. Some I love you mean hang around, I intend to use you. Huh? You better be on the same page and know that you're on the same page. That's the only way to go. Anyway, I said I was going to end it soon, about 30 minutes ago. Stay a little longer, a few bonus beats. I'm enjoying this day, and I'll definitely be back later on. Not because there's nothing else to do. There's always stuff to do, but there's something I want to talk about. Damn, Scurv, you want 2 hours and 30 minutes? You talking about there's something you want to talk about? You talk all the time. Yeah, I do. I talk a lot. But I have a lot to say. I can't help that. I spend a lot of time meditating to myself. That's what I do. So a lot of good thoughts come to my mind. I want to share them. If they're corny, then people wouldn't be here. Some aren't. Every I love you is not the same. People come around for different reasons. You got to find them reasons out. Anyway, just want to say it's been good. Just want to say I love you all. Take care until next time, which will be a couple of hours. You know I didn't eat nothing yet. I don't know why my body's like that right now, but I go with the flow. As long as you're healthy, you have a good mind, good heart, and you take care of yourself and don't abuse yourself in any way, and don't allow anybody to abuse you. But at the end of the day, are relationships worth it anymore? Yes, it is. But you just ain't gonna meet somebody on a whim and take their word for something and make it work out. And then you end up bitter later on because you didn't take yourself through the proper process of making sure that everything is going to be all right. And even then, things may not be perfect. And this is why you have to understand that you're still an individual. Do not lose yourself in someone. When they leave you, You don't even know who you are. No. You have to maintain yourself as if you are still single. You're not looking for anybody else, but they'll respect you more when you have your own on all levels. Much love to you all. Thank you all so much. Leave your comments. Go to LANCESCURV.com and leave your comments on that same post that I just put up. Let's get some action going on over there. Thank you all for your support. Hit the like button if you haven't hit it. And I'm very happy to be here with you. But anyway, much love to you all. LANCESCURV out.
Hello, this is Martha. Actually, today I got to meet my friend Lance. Yes, I got to meet my friend Lance. This is my first time meeting him in person, and he's a very kind man, seriously. I do talk with him on phone, on WhatsApp, but I've never got to meet him. But today, it's just extraordinary. He's very, anything you want to know about life, anything you want to know about just him, anything you want to know about life, please. YouTube, Telegram, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media channels, you got to find him there. He's very inspiring. He's very positive. If you want anything positive about life, please subscribe to LANCESCURV. And then every day you got to see different videos, different talks, different topics about life. See you. So, hello.